Good morning, boys and girls. How are you today? Good. How many of you have a sister? Oh, a lot of you. I have a sister. Today's story is the story of 7 sisters. I know, that's a big family. And even though they're part of the same family, they are very different from one another. And in the story today, something happens where they all need to use their strengths and talents to solve a problem. I think you are going to enjoy this story. The 7 Chinese Sisters, written by Kathy Tucker, illustrated by Grace Lin. Once upon a time, there were 7 Chinese sisters who lived together and took care of each other. Each sister had shining black hair and sparkling eyes. Each stood straight and tall, except for 7th sister, who was just a baby. But the sisters were very different. First sister could ride a scooter fast as the wind. Second sister knew karate, kick, chop, hi-ya! Third sister could count to 500 and beyond. Fourth sister could talk to dogs. Fifth sister could catch any ball, no matter how fast and how high it was thrown. Sixth sister could cook the most delicious noodle soup in the world. And seventh sister? No one was really sure yet what she could do, as she was so little she had never spoken even one word. Far away across the bridge, through a forest and up a mountain, lived a terrible dragon. One day he woke up very hungry. He took a big sniff, 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 and smelled something wonderful. It was 6 sisters' noodle soup. Down the mountain, over the forest, and across the bridge flew the dragon, straight to the 7 sisters' house. The sisters were so busy they didn't see him coming. First sister was polishing her scooter. Second sister was practicing for her black belt. Third sister was counting grains of rice. Fourth sister was talking to a stray beagle. Fifth sister was throwing a ball up a mile or so and catching it. Sixth sister had just stepped into the pantry to get some more noodles. And seventh sister was crawling around on the kitchen floor. When the dragon peeked into the kitchen door and saw plump little 7th sister, he forgot all about the soup. Instead, he snatched up the baby. Then he flew back over the bridge and forest, up the mountain, and into his cave. But as soon as the dragon set 7th sister down, he was just going to get some salt. She said her first word ever, and it was an excellent word. It was help! The 6 sisters had just started to look for 7th sister when they heard her call. Right away, they knew her voice. 7th sister's in trouble, cried first sister, leaping on her scooter. We must save her. The other sisters hung on behind. Pulled by first sister, who was strong as well as fast, the sisters sped across the bridge. Beyond was the deep forest, filled with many trees, so many third sister counted them by twos. Now 7th sister's cries were louder. The sisters headed up the mountain and soon reached the dragon's cave. Help! 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 They could smell smoke and hear the most awful roars. Fourth sister listened carefully. Dragons do not talk exactly like dogs, but still she could understand a little. The dragon was roaring, "There's no use calling for help. You're going to be my supper." And suddenly, 7th sister shouted her second word ever, which was no! Bow wow ruff! If you don't bring her out, sir, you will regret it, called 4th sister in the best dog language she could manage. The dragon stopped roaring. What was that girl yelling? All he could understand was, "Bring her out, sir." But no one had ever tried to talk to him before, and he was so curious, he picked up 7th sister and rushed outside. 2nd sister stepped forward. Then, fast as lightning, she leaped into the air, slapped the dragon on the chin, and shouted, "Hi-ya!" The dragon was so surprised that, whoop! 7th sister flew out of his mouth. Back, back, back ran 5th sister, back, 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 and reaching up, 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 She caught seventh sister neatly like a fly ball. When the dragon saw that his dinner was gone, he fell to the ground sobbing. Hungry, hungry, he whimpered. And fourth sister understood him perfectly, because the word hungry is exactly the same for dragons as it is for dogs. He's starving, she explained, and now all the sisters could see he was quite skinny and sort of sad. Tomorrow sixth sister can bring him some soup, first sister said, but we've got to get seventh sister home. She's all worn out, and she needs her diaper changed. Sisters, go home, cried baby seventh sister, who was learning to talk very quickly now. First sister put seventh sister on her back and hopped on her scooter. The other sisters hung on behind, and they whizzed fast as the wind down the mountain. But when they reached the forest, first sister stopped. Now that they didn't have seventh sister's cries to guide them, how could they find their way through all these trees? Don't worry, said third sister. I counted the trees when we came. We must go past 500. And so, when third sister had counted 500 trees by twos, the seven sisters came to the bridge. They scooted across and back to their house, where they had a wonderful meal of six sisters' delicious noodle soup. And what did seventh sister do when she grew tall? She became the best storyteller in the world, and she always told this story first.